Hello students, good morning all. Welcome to this class called Operation Research. I am Professor Shubhra Singh Gupta from Institute of Management Studies, University Courses Campus. So what is basically Operation Research? It's a very new subject and new only 70 years old. So subject Operation Research came into existence during the Second World War. Okay, so obviously this subject is confined to mathematics and a lot of mathematics is involved in this and the calculations. Today we are dealing with linear programming. So what is linear programming? Linear programming, we need to develop some equations. Okay, although these equations you must have developed in the class 9th and 10th and then again 11th, 12th. So such equations needs to be followed on. Let's start with a very simple question. Let's suppose that I am being asked to bring potatoes from market, and the instruction is that the potato should not be less than 5 kg. Should not be less than 5 kg. So should not be less than 5 kg means what? It can be 6 kg, 7 kg, 8 kg, 9 kg, anything. But should not be less than. This means that what will be the quantity of potatoes. So if I suppose that potatoes is x kg, so x must be greater than 5. Okay, because if x is greater than 5, then any value greater than 5 will hold the instructions true. Similarly, if I am being instructed to bring potatoes but it should not be more than 5, in that case you are not expected to bring 6 kg or 7 kg or 8 kg potatoes. What you are expected to bring is any kg of potatoes, but it should be less than 5. So it can be 1, 2, 3, 4. So how we are going to write it in an equation form? So it will be x less than 5. Am I clear? So keeping these two in mind, let's start how to form the equations. Okay. So here I am starting. Let's have a look. Suppose a garment company deals in only two items, shirts and trousers. He has rupees 50,000 to invest and a space to store at most 1 lakh pieces. A shirt costs him rupees 200 and a trouser rupees 500. So up to this point. So what is being asked? See, the company deals with only two items, the shirts and trousers, and how much it has to invest, capacity to invest is 50,000. Okay, so now when I'm talking about investment purpose, it means that I'm talking in terms of rupees. So how the equation will be formed? And you have the space of at most of 1 lakh pieces. So when I'm talking about space, this means the space is related to number of items. Space has nothing to do with the worthness, with the value. Space has everything to deal with number of items. So how many shirts are there and how many trousers are there? We don't know. So what is expected to write? Let's suppose the number of shirts is X. So X number of shirts will be manufactured and Y number of shirts and Y number of trousers will be manufactured. So where we will keep it? So we will obviously be keeping it in storehouse or a warehouse. And what is the capacity? The capacity is 1 lakh units. So 1 lakh units means number of shirts plus number of trousers together can be kept in the store or in the warehouse up to 1 lakh, not more than that. Then up to 1 lakh, what it means? It means 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, 90,000. Any number of shirts and trousers, but up to 1 lakh. This means if number of shirts is X manufactured, number of trousers Y manufactured, then together they can be either equate to 1 lakh or less than 1 lakh. See the equation? So here is a space to store 1 lakh. So what is 1 lakh? There is 1 lakh units. 1 lakh units. So number of shirts, X number of shirts and Y number of trousers, so together they can be made up to 1 lakh. And what does one shirt cost or it requires to manufacture? Rupees 200. And what about a trouser? It is 500. So 200 multiplied by X. What is X? Number of shirts. So 200X is the amount which you have to keep aside for manufacturing shirt. And what about a trouser? One trouser costs rupees 500. This means for Y number of units, you have to keep aside 500Y. And together you have to keep 50,000. Am I clear? So you cannot spend more than 50,000, not even a single penny more than 50,000. So what it means, the 200x plus 500y together will equate either rupees 50,000 or less than, but in no case more than, because you don't have enough money to spend more than 50,000. Okay, the objective function is always denoted by z. So objective function is that if I am going to sell this shirt, I will be getting a profit of rupees 50. And what about the trouser? I will be getting a profit of 100. So how many shirts you are going to sell? Exact number of shirts which we have manufactured. So how many shirts we have manufactured? It's X. And in one shirt, per shirt, we are having rupees 50 as profit. So the total profit will accrue to rupees 50x in terms of shirts and 100y in terms of trousers. So the objective function is to maximize the profits. So Z will be equals to 50x plus 100y. Am I clear to you all? Okay, let's move to the second question and perhaps the last one. So here Mr. Ramesh, because the subject is very much widely used and it is now used in marketing, finance. So what is important is that you need to understand how the equation is formed. Later on, I will try to teach you all that how these equations will be solved in Excel also with the help of solver. And if time permits, then you can also take care of a new software, Tora, Tora, developed by Japanese company. So there in the Tora you can use these equations and the result will become visible to you all in a fraction of seconds. So here we'll start. Mr. Ramesh wants to invest an amount of rupees 20,000. The total amount what he is having is 20,000. Okay. He wants to invest in two types of bonds, bond A and bond B, and bond A will be giving return of 10% while bond B will be giving return of 12%. Okay, 10%, 12%, this is what the income we will be having. So if I am investing some amount in bond A, then I will be getting a return of 10%, while from bond B I will be getting a return of 12%. Okay, so how it will be working on. And after basically decided to invest at least rupees 5,000 bond A, at least in bond A. So let's try from yourself that without undergoing further, how much amount he is having, rupees 20,000. And where he need to distribute, he need to distribute in two bonds. One is bond A and bond B. How much he is going to distribute bond A, that is not known to me. So suppose X amount will distribute in bond A. So Y amount will distribute in bond B. And together what we are having? Together I am having rupees 20,000. So X plus Y equals 20,000, or it can be less than 20,000 in any case. Okay, but cannot be more than. Okay. So then again he has two constraints. Means constraints is limiting factor. If you go through the question, the limiting factor is that he decided to invest at least rupees 5,000 bond A. At least in 5,000 to bond A. This means whatever amount he is going to invest in bond A must be greater than 5,000. So, and what amount he was going to invest? X amount. So, X must be greater than 5,000, greater than equal 5,000. At least means he can invest 5,000 or more than 5,000. So, X will be greater than equals to 5,000. And not more than 9,000 in bond B. What it means? That in bond B, he is going to invest rupees Y, and Y can be equated to 9,000, but not more than. This means Y is less than equals to 9,000, not more than 9,000, but can go till 9,000. Okay, so our first equation was X plus Y less than equals 20,000. The second equation was that X must be greater than equals to 5,000, because the word at least is there. And the third equation will be Y is less than equals 9,000, because the word not more than exists over there. Okay, so what is the result? What do we finally want to look? We finally want to maximize our return. So maximize return. So whatever be our objective is always denoted by Z, and our objective is to get the highest amount of return. So the returns over here is 10% on bond A and 12% bond B. So 10% means 10%. How much amount you invested in bond A? We are not sure how much amount, but we know that bond A will get X amount to be invested. So 10% of X, 10x by 100 plus, and then what is about the bond B? It is 12%, so 12y upon 100. So objective function Z equals to 10x by 100 plus 12y upon 100. So this will be our objective. So why I am not showing you the solution? Because I want to go through whatever I have told you just now. Go through the equation, one time, two times, three times, get and try to understand how the equation will be formed, and whatever will be the end result, how much the amount will be invested, that has not yet been produced, how much amount, because we have left both the questions for finding x and y, but we have not found it right now. So in the next class, with the help of graph, we will try to find out the values of x and y, which will support the equations. And if the number of equations goes more than 2, suppose there are 3 bonds a, b and c, in that case, if we are using x, y, z for equation, it is perfectly okay, but it cannot be solved using graphical method. Graph method, which we'll be doing in the next class, will be helpful till we are using only two axes, x axis and y axis. But if number of axis means number of variables, gets changed from 2 to 3 and any numbers more than 2, then we have to make sure that we have to go further to a new concept, and that is called simplex. So we need to go to the simplex method in that case, and here is a solution. So do check it out, and thank you all. Have a nice day. Take care.